We are on to Champion Select. Welcome to Noobsquad, Corny, Cobblers. Game number 1 draft is up on the screen, and boy, are we excited. I'm excited. What about you, Raman?
Well, these are new teams, so we'll see how they handle the draft phase. That's always something that's hard to practice outside of a coordinated environment. So we'll see what they're able to come up with if they're able to outmaneuver each other in draft.
Mm-hmm. I like Aurora being banned. I have had the opportunity to play a little bit with Proden and see the true power of that champion. I typically play ARAMs, and so when we were on the Rift and Proden was either piloting or going against the Aurora, I was like, oh, this is way different than what I'm used to fighting. And so I appreciate the ban there from the side of the Noobsquad. Cassante, always one of my top 3 bans that I like to see. Jin and Lilia, unfortunately for the Noobsquad, I was looking through their OPGG today, and those are some favorites. Almost one-trick status on the sides of the Noobsquad. So good for Corny Cobblers to take the time to do that homework and make those bans.
And we're gonna round out with a Zac and a Skarner ban, both tanks that terrorize the jungle quite effectively. Looks like no team really wants to see that. A lot of pinch on the jungle side for these first round of picks. Now we open with Caitlyn on the blue side.
I like Caitlyn. I think she's a safe pick. She's got the long range. One of the things about her, though, is she isn't as big on the DPS as some other champions. You know, the likes of the Jinx or Zeri or Xayah, they all have the attack speed steroids built into their kit. Caitlyn, though, deals much more of the bursty type of damage. She still attacks throughout, but just per second isn't getting as much, but the long range makes her safe, especially if you compare her with something like a Lulu or a Karma or even Tom Kench, these types of champions that keep her safe. Braum isn't a bad idea either, but when you are going against the likes of a Mumu, you got to be really careful. The stacking bandage toss, giving him 2 of them, one of the best changes for him for the team that has a Mumu.
Mumu is a nice flex pick as well, both a jungler and a support here, so you can decide whether you want to lane that champion into the Caitlyn lane or not. Now we see Aurelion Sol and Nala's picked up for the side of Noobsquad. So bot lanes. And we see as you mentioned, we do see a Braum in response here. So bot lane looks pretty locked in.
One of the biggest things about laning with the Caitlyn is you want to be able to set up her traps. That's where most of her damage is going to come from, is getting those headshots. So Nautilus, Braum, Morgana, these types of champions that are able to help assist with the lockups. I love the Nautilus lock-in. He's one of my favorite champions. Aurelion Sol also becoming one of my favorites. I like the eternal scaling of that champion. Actually, you know what? It's a pattern I found that Admin Anonymous is a stacking player. He loves these types of champions, and so I know he's happy to see the Aurelion Sol locked in. And Zeri is coming back. She was 100% presence for quite a long time, and there was this stint where she wasn't, and now she is coming back, and I like to see it. She's very slippery and frustrating to fight, but she's a lot of fun to watch and to cast, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I always like to see a good Zeri player just a pure movement check as to how much damage you can output in a fight, and if you're able to pull that off, you can really take control. So we'll see how the Corny Cobblers pilot Zeri in a few minutes here.
So the pinch on the side of the Noobsquad was the Nasus and Syndra. I don't think either one of the right there are 2 different lanes. So getting rid of the Syndra because she can stop the channel from the Aurelion Sol with that Breath of Light and stacking that up. So I appreciate that, but they left the Victor open. And ever since the Arcane rework, Victor has become another staple. He's got that growing Arcane Storm, and his Gravity Field is a lot harder to see now. So good pickup there for Corny Cobblers. I like to see that. And is that Lucian top? Is that what we're seeing?
Possibly Lucian top here.
All right.
We do have 2 marksmen on the side of Noobsquad. We'll see what they were planning to do with that. They don't. We do see Corn Cowboys has the counter pick here, so they'll have to decide what exactly they want their lane matchups to be here. What they're expecting in those solo lanes.
Okay.
And we see a Kali come out.
I actually really like this. I respect this a lot. You and I were just watching LEC and how Caps was able to pilot the Akali. and just burst out an Alistar. Granted, support Alistar, not fully tanky yet, but still, it's really, really crazy how much damage this champion can deal. And Lucian, a lot of his damage comes from the auto attacks, from his passive. And so if you can't see the Akali when she's in that Twilight Shroud, you instantly lose out on hundreds and hundreds of damage because you can't land those autos. And then when she gets her items and is able to just pop you, that's a great counter on the side of the corny Cobblers. But I don't want to discount or remove credit from the side of Noobsquad for putting that together, for getting something special in the Lucian top, because it is pretty unique.
Yeah, not entirely sure actually what Noob Squad's planning to do here with their lanes just yet. We'll see. We'll see once we get into lane here. We do see some interesting summer spell choices. We do see Ghost Heal on Caitlyn. No Flash, so that may prove some trouble to her when you were talking about trying to distance yourself from Mumu. And we'd also see no Flash on the Akali from Corny Cobblers, so that'll be opting instead for Teleport Ignite, which is extremely aggressive, and we'll see how they manage to utilize both those summer spells.
The aggression with the Teleport Ignite makes a lot more sense to me, because if you do get that first kill, then you shove your wave and you can walk back, then you have pressure around the map. Teleport has become one of the staples in competitive League of Legends. The ability to cut across the map within 6 and now up to, 4 seconds, and then travel time, right? So it can be a little bit longer, but you always end up in the same position. Your minion keeps walking, turrets being destroyed, don't stop it. You can actually kill the wards people are teleporting to. And so I understand that one a lot more. With the Ghost Heal, I think I can get it, right? Ghost is a very powerful spell. Let's not discount that. And it is a mobility spell, but it's also a much shorter cooldown than Flash. And you can use it on the aggressive. Caitlyn isn't a very quick champion. And so staying on the chase, especially when you've got so much crowd control with the Nautilus, Sejuani, and when Aurelion Soul ends up getting that Rylai's Crystal Scepter, which honestly should be on every Aurelion Soul's item list, let's be real, then you can really keep up, use that range, and set up some more headshots. So I agree with you. I'm worried about it, but I don't think it's the worst thing.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. There's a lot of movement speed in the game now. For those of you who aren't familiar with the new patch, there's a whole new system about feats of strength where now the boots get upgraded. They get +5 movement speed. Then they can upgrade the boots for more. They can spend money to upgrade the boots again, and they get more movement speed. So you can stack a lot of movement speed right now in Summer's Rift, and that gives you a lot of there's a lot of optionality as to whether you want to be taking fights with people or just walk away.
So one thing I'm looking forward to is our overlay getting its update. I don't know if it had it yet, but LEC and LCK at least have the updated viewer where it will show you how to get those boots. Like Ramen said, it's these feats of strength. So first blood, first turret, and the first 3 map objectives being Void Grubs and Drakes. Those will give you the ability to do that first upgrade. So watching these teams, how they are playing around that to get that extra buff is going to be really interesting. If you listened to the PCP, Shazbot mentioned that going 100% hardcore on these might be a mistake, right? When you're doing it just to get it, similar to when the Void Grubs were added to the game, people were just throwing themselves at the grubs because they were so strong. But if you die trying to get them, then the enemy gets them and you are still out. So I want to see good focus from these teams. There'll be really good discussion points. It changes your strategy too, because if you already have 2 of them, you're like, ooh, okay, well, we should really get this Drake, right? Oh, but do you have to? It's so much fun, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. Looks like we're about to get in the game here. We have Corny Noobsquad on the blue side versus Corny Cobblers on the red side. We'll see how that goes in just a second here.
Absolutely. And a reminder to our viewers, we did make that change where you do not need to be in the LCS order, being top, jungle, mid, bot lane support. when we're in our draft, just to allow people a better draft time. So when we do get into the game, we can get those shifted around and see. And Ramen, we were wrong. It's actually top lane Caitlyn, which makes that ghost even more sensible because the fleet footwork with the heal on the top side, that's actually really, really fun, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see if Akali's able to leverage something like teleport advantage. We see no flashes of the top lane at all, so it'll be really quite interesting to see if the junglers can capitalize on that no flash, because it's a one of the more ideal spells for escaping those unexpected ganks.
I like the lack of level 1 fight here. Typically, you do want to go in with Braum, especially when you compare it with the Amumu. But at the same time, you don't know. Nautilus is another one of those champions that just ruins level 1 fights if you're not perfect on it.
Yeah,
I like
it. Crazy people look for that first feat, that first blood, and maybe jump in there, try to get that first blood, get that one off the list. And I see a very nice dredge line from Senpai here. Damage going on the Zelda grid. Ignite comes out. Crispy Lamp trying to follow up some damage, but Merlin guy's there giving a little punch as it ignites back. Looks like Zelda girl's going to have to recall off of that one.
Already fight after fight after fight. Welcome back to the PLC, everybody. I gotta tell you, I missed it. I was watching. Oh, never mind.
Another dredge line on the Merlin guy.
Do we get it?
Flash out from Merlin guy. A dash from Crispy Lamp. Crispy Lamp's holding onto the flash there. Didn't think he could finish off that kill there. And Merlin guy's going to live for now and start chugging some potions to keep himself healthy.
Yeah, Guardian on the Braum. Plus, I think he's level 2. And so he has the door and should have the concussive blows, but that means he doesn't get the stand behind me, which will give the extra resistances. So he might have been able to get there and protect himself with the barrier, but I appreciate the restraint there from Crispy Lamp, not going in too hard.
Yeah, now we see the junglers both were full clearing from bot to top side, so bot lane's going to be looking very volatile, but there's not going to be a lot of assistance from external assistance for a little while. Another dredge line from Senpai going in. Concussive blows get stacked on Senpai, stunned out. Now Zelda girl's looking on Crispy Lamp. Barrier comes out, but the damage is too much, and Senpai's looking to maybe trade back, but it's also going to follow the Merlin guy. We got 2 kills for the bot lane there.
Let's start a poll in Twitch chat. Which side of the map is going to get Atakan? If anyone doesn't say bottom, you're wrong. We're 3.5 minutes in. There are 2 full kills. Flashes burned all over the place. I like how the corny what?
Sorry? Corny Cobblers.
That's the one. The corny Cobblers are really playing around Merlin guy's concussive blows. They're disengaging. Oh, speaking of engage.
We see a gank from top line. Battle Papaya's landing 2 bandage toss back to back, going to pick up a very easy kill. Kill goes to Akali, and another lane not going so hot on the side of Noobsquad.
What this does do, though, is it makes it really easy to track our feats of strength, because there's only one team that has kills, which means they got the first blood. So corny Cobblers doing a great job here, keeping their pressure, fighting back against the obscene aggression coming out of Senpai. And I'm not trying to say that in a bad way. We love it. It's just going to make everything more exciting, right? There will be Drakes throughout the entire game, and so having all your focus on the bottom side is why the duo lane goes bottom. And the other interesting thing is there's a whole wave difference in the CS. It's not truly that important right now, but it's going to be impactful later on, I think, if Crispy Lamp and Senpai can keep Zelda Girl and Merlin Guy off of the wave, then those kills will eventually even out.
Yeah, and right now in lane, Crispy Lamp's up the longsword in lane, and Noobsquad both on bot lane has both flashes, so they're still possibly in the space to turn around their gold, maybe a slight gold deficit from those kills, if they are able to find something here.
I like the movements from Sejuani as well. Starky Boy is invading, knowing that as the Sejuani, you are tankier than the Amumu. And so with the permafrost, I think you actually have the advantage in those 1v1s. Got a little bit of an invade up into the jungle, doesn't find anything, but is bottom side for pressure. With your bottom lane pushing up, you have a better position on the Drake. Now, there is zero pressure coming out of the noob squad on the top side, meaning they probably aren't going to be anywhere near getting the grubs, and that's okay, right? You pick one side, what's going to be your advantage, and that's definitely bottom, and they are going to pick up the Drake as we see Battle Papaya taking the grubs.
Yep, I mean, we just cries on all 3 grubs at the same time. It's a pretty good time for him, and we'll see Noobsquad at least trade back Mountain Drake as they rotate up that way. Some things going on top side as well from the side of corny Cobblers. We'll see what happens.
I am worried about the Caitlyn now. I thought it would be okay with the range disparity between Caitlyn and Akali, but that's 30 CS. That's two kills worth of gold, just not there for Daffleduck. And later on, Caitlyn will still be strong, right? She builds the items, she has the range, the ultimate as well is always going to be relevant, but it's going to be tough when you're a Jax or a Scion and put behind, or a Shen. These type of champions, they have a better time coming back into the game. Caitlyn is going to have expensive items. She's going to be squishy. These type of qualities in a marksman that make it harder for her to come back in. So we got to watch for that. And hopefully Noobsquad will find a way to overcome that particular deficit. They look to be doing it in their other lanes. He doesn't know.
Oh, yep, we see it. We see Kali going in here on Daffleduck with a perfect execution, doing quite a bit of damage. Actually, it's the second one. And you get throwing out
Holy
as many
crap,
5 strikes possible.
Kidding me?
The spacing was just not quite there. And now you mentioned earlier that Council was one-shotting people in the LEC, but the big difference here is that this Akali is building the Bruiser build, tank build. We have the items for Dead Man's Play as opposed to itemizing for Storm Raider Surge or something more typical for the full AP style.
That is a great point. Yeah, great point. But still, how close that was to being a kill. Akali is dangerous, everybody. Remember that. So either learn to play her or learn to fight her, because it's not an easy thing to do. Can you... Let's think about what Daffleduck did there too. Sometimes you'll see people do the stutter step, right? Where you auto attack and then you move and then you attack and then you move. You're canceling that animation so that you can move and deal damage at the same time. But there's no benefit to that. So you just keep walking as Daffleduck on the Caitlyn. And actually, oh, never mind.
Oh, we see the polling coming out for Prissy Lamp. The kill's going, the Zelda's going to Senpai. Palpapai is in here with a flash ultimate, and he's going to pick up the kill on Crispy Lamp. Senpai's flashing away. Is there enough distance here? Berlin guy's going to take. He gets one punch over that shield, and unfortunately the kill's going to go over to Braum there as two deaths on the bot lane. Almost had a very good fight there, but Palpapai was in position for that.
That was a lot closer than I expected it to be. Amumu on the bot side was a surprise to me, because we talked about how Noobsquad really has the bottom side in their sights. Oh, Daffleduck misses the cannon and is on the run.
Yeah, we see a Akali running. It lands a shuriken flip. That's pretty bad news. Gonna land our 5-point strike. But again, you need to cycle quite a few casts to even finish off Caitlyn here, as squishy as she may be with this kind of build.
I do wonder what kind of pace we're on for damage and kills with the blood petal spawning. That's another part of the Otacon change, everybody. Those little plants will spawn, and as you get petals, your team will accumulate adaptive force. In fact, if we could have our observer just click on any one champion, there you go. You can see it in the top left, right above the portrait. That is 1. That gives you 0.5 adaptive force. And then if you look at someone on the red team, probably clicking the R button. There we go. 1 as well. Okay, so it is tied. And then Zeri will pick that up. That one, it's team-wide. So anytime you see those on the map, you got to get them, because that will give you advantage, and it'll make your damage go up, and it'll make the buffs and the changes to Otacon or of Otacon to the map, even more fun.
Yeah, you have to fight over those blood petals because it gives you XP and damage, and it denies the enemy team the same XP and damage approximately. So that's a big thing. Now you see bot lane fighting very hard. Glacial Fisher comes out from Merlin Guy in response to Senpai's Dredge line, and Stillgirls unleashes the ult and is going to pick up the kill. Now we see on the same side of top line, Shrieking Flip lands again from Akali. Perfect execution, cast 2, and he's going to slay Daffleduck for another solo kill. See Falling Star come down on the Victor, the mid lane. Sprite Shot doing a decent amount of damage there, but they're going to mutually disengage.
The unfortunate thing about bottom side is Crispy Lamp had no mana. That would have been a perfect culling opportunity because the what is that thing called? Unbreakable shield from Braum was already down. That's why Senpai went in. He had the advantage. They had a way to deal the damage. But now Papaya is here on the bottom side.
Yeah, we're seeing maybe look for a dive. The bot tier 1 turret's getting pretty low with the Void
Turret's gonna
doing
go.
a lot of damage. Looks like Noobsquad's opting to seed the turret, but Battle Papaya find a tosses towards Crispy Lamp. Starkey Boy's here to try to respond, but we see Victor coming in from the mid lane as well. Four of red team here. They're going to actually pick up both the kills on bot lane, even though they're thinking about where to seed that turret, and a little bit of hesitation there, causing them to fall along with their turret, anyways.
First blood, first turret, 9 kills to the side of the corny Cobblers. You can see the highlight of red around their upgraded boots. That is the feats of strength. So congratulations to them for that. They'll pick up a Drake for their troubles, and they have the advantage here in the beginning of this game. 9 kills to 1. They're up. Let me do some math here. 7,000 gold. I know, rule number 1, never do math on stream. There we go. This is actually really, really important. Looking at these numbers, it's going to show where that value is. Zeri is rich, like crazy rich, and right behind her, the Akali and the Amumu. Just a lot of good stuff coming out for the corny Cobblers, but Noobsquad needs to rely on the scaling they have.
Oh, he's able to go again on Sprite Shot here. He's going to Astral Flight away and gets pretty low, but is going to survive. On the bot side, see a Dredge line come out from Senpai. Very accurate though. The culling comes out as well. Unfortunately, the depth charge is actually going to take the kill, and Nautilus is going to get the kill credit there onto Victor. But a very nice pick and tower dive from the side of Noobsquad.
Yeah, just a few more of those types of plays. Let the Aurelion Soul scale up and just relax. That's what Noobsquad needs to do. I think that they're doing that pretty well. But another fight up top.
Yeah, perfect execution from Akali. He's going to cast R2 there. Yeah, and Daffleduck's going to go down. At this point, he's completed Dead Man's Plate. He does enough base damage, has a bit of Magic Pen on top of that, and that Akali damage is finally enough to finish off those kills and be a little too tanky to really work with, deal with when it comes to Akali. Now we see a dive on the mid tier 1 turret. As the turret goes down, Valpie is going to land bandage toss onto Sprite Shot and get the kill. Noobsquad's picking up the bot tier 1 turret, but we do see Victor here. He's come to respond. He drops the Arcane Storm, zoning out Crispy Lamp. Senpai's trying to create some distance here. Barrier comes out from Crispy Lamp, a flash forward, dodges the Hextech Ray, dodges almost the gravity field as well of the Relentless Pursuit, and the double tap is going to pick up the kill there, at least trading 1 for 1. Merlin Guy is here though. He's a little late to the party, but I think he's going to fight Senpai anyways. Senpai's trying to get away. Drag Face Riptide's autoing to slow him down. Oh no, Merlin Guy actually picks up the Blood Rose there. That's the thing that mattered in this fight, is that the one thing that mattered is the XP and gold from that. And Merlin Guy's sort of just playing around at this point. It looks like he's waiting for Akali to show up to give some kill credit over. Not quite sure if this is strictly necessary. Maybe it's a little bit of bullying. We can't see on the Spectre mode the negative bounties, but people do lose aren't worth as much gold as they continue to die. Zelda Girl going to pick up the kill in the mid lane there. Starkey Boy's throws Gates Prison misses. Some people call that the Smithy, and unfortunately it happens to the best of us. As a lesson there, is Zelda Girl's running away. He's going to use the going to dash over the wall, and Noobsquad's not going to be able to catch.
You know, one does not simply catch a Zeri. That was insane. Zelda Girl just dodging, jumping, and flashing all of these spells, all these ways that Zeri is able to escape, and it's a little disheartening, I'll be honest. It's kind of like fighting an Echo, and you get on him, and you get all this damage, and suddenly he ults halfway across the map and is full health, and you're like, I've just wasted everything.
We just see Senpai engaging on here onto Akali, perfect execution away, and Shuriken flip for distance. He's gonna go drop that emote as he ults a second time away, and is gonna have plenty of safety with that distance.
Corny Cobblers are slippery, man. I don't know how else to say it. You got the Zeri and the Akali that you just can't nail them down. The mobility as well is actually impressive through the rest of the team. Amumu with the 2 bandage shots. Never mind, Daffle Duck's in trouble.
Yeah, Zelda Girl's looking for the kill again over the wall, but looks like
Aurelion Soul?
Aurelion Soul's coming here with the Breath of Light. The Sky's Descent comes down, tons of damage. You're gonna hope, but again, Zelda Girl's gonna dash over that big wall, and Zeri's got the ability to just go over any wall, and it's going to get lots of distance.
Is here.
Looking for inward, but again, Zelda Girl with nice re-engage, back over the wall, going to finish off a Daffle Duck, and going to chase down Starky Boy in his own jungle. See Crispy Lamp also fighting the mid lane with Senpai there, maybe looking for a pick there, but the rest of Corny Cobblers have arrived. Death Charge goes out from Senpai, trying to create some distance. Brilliant Soul with the Breath of Light right into Brahm's Unbreakable, not doing enough damage. Now we see Corny Cobblers going on the Siege tier 2. They think they can do this dive. Shuriken Flip lands onto Brilliant Soul, and that's going to be an ace over the side of Corny Cobblers.
Corny Cobblers are doing a lot of demolition here on the map. They get the tier 2 in both mid and top, set themselves up for another Drake. They're 10,000, 12,000 gold ahead. 24 kills in our 17.5 minutes. We already saw the Atakan pit spawn on the bottom side. Woohoo! I was right. And class right here, right? Corny Cobblers are doing a lot of good work. They're moving as a team. They're stopping engages. They're slippery, and so they're hard to nail down, and it's really impressive to see. One more time, I really think that the Noobsquad would benefit from slowing it down.
Yeah, we do see Akali looking for the perfect execution on the Lucian again. Going to cast the second one. Shuriken flips back in after missing cast 2. Ignite comes out. Teleport from Victor. Arcane Storm lands. We see the ace in the hole on the Akali. Doesn't do a lot of damage. Again, she's built a decent amount of armor and HP here. Starky Boy with the Glacial Prison on the Victor. Arctic Assault sees Dredge Line to connect from Senpai again. Is Crispy Lamp able to get in there to deal some damage? No, not yet. Victor flashes away. The Colin going just a little too short. Now the rest of Corny Cobblers are here. They're here to respond. Merlin guy is on the back line with Zelda Girl. The ult comes out from Zeri, and damage is going down from everywhere. Godlike, and a double kill over Zeri and Merlin guy. I think he picked up a double kill, but at least one kill there. The Braum just running people down as well. So that's a nice attempt from Noobsquad, but just it took a little bit too long. Corny Cobblers were there to respond.
That's wallets right there. That's the phrase that the procasters use, is they just hit them with their wallet. The fact that Caitlyn didn't have an item completed yet really changed that fight. If that Mortal Reminder were finished at the beginning, maybe you get that kill. If you had any item at all completed, you get that kill. And it's unfortunate to see how that goes. I mean, it's good news if you're a Corny Cobbler fan, for sure, but you gotta slow it down, guys. You can't be fighting Noobsquad. You can't just be jumping in and trying to kill these people. You gotta let the farm come to you. You gotta get your items, and then fight when your Aurelion Soul is super strong. He hasn't even been able to upgrade the tier to get himself that Seraph's Embrace yet, and that is a big part of his damage. And you gotta get these items and these things in, otherwise you're just gonna keep losing these fights like that.
Yeah, really disciplined from the side of Corny Cobblers. I don't know if you've played the board game Clue, but one of the murder weapons is a wallet. So they kind of see how that works in the case of League of Legends.
And you know what? We just had a 2025 miracle here. That's Voracious Atakan, not Ruinous. I guess we didn't get enough to satisfy them. The little wings over the level number and the circle around them is that revive buff. So congratulations, everyone. The first Otacon take in 2025 for the PLC is not Ruinous. And I am surprised by that.
And as you're saying, Ruinous is supposed to be the one that rewards players that have lots of kills in the early part of the game. Now we see Akali going in for maybe the 1v2, 1v3. Extremely tanky. She's extremely tanky here, and it's just gonna walk away again. Dead Man's Plate, upgraded boots, really fast. Just walks in, decides took a little too much damage from all those abilities. He's gonna walk back out. But we do see Corny Cobblers looking for a little bit more here now that Noobsquad has blown some key abilities onto Akali.
One of the best things about this part of the buff is it lets you do whatever you want. You only get 100 gold if you kill someone with the buff, and you go back instantly. And instantly...
Yeah, Corny Cobblers just went there. Perfect execution just landed on the Caitlyn, and it's going to be basically an entire team wipe here. Aurelion Sol's off on the side lane, not here to respond. The Void Grubs are spawning as well from the inhib. The damage is insane from those Void Grubs. Sky's Ascend comes out. Some damage out there. The wave got cleared, I think. But we still have a couple of Voidlings here. Merlin guys tanking. Those turrets do a little bit more damage this patch, but it's definitely not enough to dissuade the Corny Cobblers from going on for the finish here. Rift Herald, a very disciplined game by the Corny Cobblers. Very well played, very controlled, really dominated the field there.
Agreed. Good job to Corny Cobblers. They were able to keep their cool. They got their first blood. They pushed for their turret. They were able to keep the pressure on, and they had an answer for everything that Noobsquad was throwing at them.